Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 out today. Got another showcase for you guys. That's right, this time around, we're going to be taking a look at the one, the only Stark from the Frieren collaboration. I am so excited. He's one of my favorite characters in the entire series. Gotta love our boy Stark here. Now, I went ahead and just plus 15'd him, and I did get an extra copy from doing the little side story, right? So we're currently at a B imprint, which is giving us some crit rate, which is kind of nice. We will be able to essentially get like another 11% crit rate for free though. So this isn't going to be his final build. I'm just kind of messing around with some gear. Now, speaking of his build, let's go ahead and take a look at Stark running Sigurd's Scythe. I don't know if this is actually the best artifact for him, but it will increase a bit of his damage output by giving him some extra attack, and also it allows him to stay in the match a little bit longer by giving him some damage absorbing, some HP right back from doing his damage. So that is essentially what I wanted to go with in terms of direction for his build. Went with a kind of a DPS-y, bruisery type of build. He's not too slow, not too fast, he's not super hard hitting, but he's not, incredibly weak either, and I think his HP here is actually going to be really good saving grace for him. 27.5k HP. If you're running something like Sweet Miracle on him, you can bring that up even higher, right? Prayer of Solitude as well is a pretty decent artifact if you just want to go for some damage and some extra health on him. But for right now, I'm going to test him with Sigurd's Scythe and see how he fares, because the current meta right now, if you're playing Bruiser v Bruiser stuff, is very, very tanky, and so I think Stark is actually going to be kind of a nice unit to bring into these sustained type of matches, right, where your opponent's hitting you and chipping away at you slowly but surely, and the more the opponent hits you, the stronger Stark becomes. So currently have him on an HP set along with a destruction set here just to try to maximize his amount of bulk. But we'll see how he actually fares in combat, which we're gonna go on and head into with some arena showcases. So I figured, what better for a first match than against a bunch of evasion units along with Harsetti and of course BBK. Like, you can't really go wrong with fighting a team like this, right? This is a very disgusting team. It's basically banking on evasion and a lot of counterattack shenanigans. The Flan is probably on like a riposte set or something as well. Harsetti making sure that you can't cleave, you can't outspeed. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this here. We have Aram here helping us out with some skills to help reset our team. Kinda has some healing as well. She's gonna be pretty decent on a counter set here. Could be a bit bulkier, right? Because Harsetti is basically setting our speeds to 0, but hey, mimicking what you might experience in RTA, it's still good to see what we can do here, right? We have a Yoha as well. She is on 30k health here. Pretty tanky on admin shield, soaking up some damage for the team. We have some resist on her, some effectiveness. She's gonna be pretty nice. Not really great against the fire units, but the fire units will be attacking her a lot, which is going to be really good for us. And then of course we have Lady of the Scales. I'm going to bring her along for this match, not because I just want to cheese my way through with Stark, but because she's actually going to synergize really well with Yoha and kind of tanking for the team, right? And we're just going to see what Stark can do against these evasion-based units. BBK is also a huge source of damage. I don't really want to risk dying into a BBK here, so we'll go ahead and see how this plays out. Now, my opponent's gonna go first, Harsetti, doing some Harsetti things, all fine and dandy, until we start healing some health back with Aram. Very nice, there we go. Vigor buff is now out. That's gonna be very nice for Stark because it gives him extra attack, extra defense. I know he's an HP scaler, but the main thing about having HP scalers is that everybody scales with attack in some form, so giving attack through Sigurd's Scythe, through bigger buffs and stuff, it's never really a bad thing. You can't really go wrong with it. Let's go ahead and see if we can S1 the BBK here to provoke. We miss, wonderful. So he is going to be countering us, it's fine. Let us go for a little stun on Harsetti, wouldn't be bad, or she's going to resist, that's okay too. Alright, but Stark here with his Soul Burn, it increases the amount of damage that's dealt. He does penetrate the target's defense by 50% too, and he's, you know, kind of ramping up his fighting spirit, right? He has 50% fighting spirit right now, which is really nice. Every time his allies get hit, he gains 10 fighting spirit. So, especially with AoE attacks on the team, like after Flawn's S1 or Harseti's attacks, right? You're going to be stacking up your fighting spirit really, really quickly, and it resets the cooldown of your S3, and it gives you 50% extra combat readiness, which is nice. His S1 just provokes, but he also does scale with the HP as damage. So let's go ahead and Soul Burn his S3. We could try to go for like Setsuka or Flan or something. I'm just going to go for the Harseti here. I think it's the best play just to get rid of this unit that's kind of hindering our speed, right? If my opponent's units are slow, then let them be slow. That's actually not terrible damage, seeing as it's his first S3. Now Stark does ramp up his damage output. His damage output will increase every time he uses an S3, so we saw BBK hit us there, and now we see the Flan coming in hitting us here. But look at this, Stark has full fighting spirit now. He's going to attack the Flan, not a whole ton of damage with the S2, but he does jump up a lot in combat readiness. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can go ahead and chip down this BBK maybe, that'd be kind of nice. Alright, or not, we're just gonna get countered. But it's okay, again, Stark is just ramping up, right? All good. Let's go ahead and Soul Burn. We can honestly finish off the Flan here if we really want to. Let's go for it. We'll let Harseti live, because whenever she S1s, she will do an extra attack, and it's going to give us a lot of fighting spirit. There we go. Almost 7,000 damage on that Flan. That's kind of crazy, I'll be honest. Right, 7,000 damage is nothing to laugh at against an evasion on a Flan, who typically is decently bulky too, right? 1,300 defense, you could say. Alright, Harseti is gone, but look at this. Stark is almost fully reset here. Yolha can now come in. We can go in with an S3. I don't have souls to Soul Burn this, but it's okay. Let's go for the Setsuka anyway. She should be one of our main focuses from now on. Regardless, there we go. Could not kill, unfortunately. But that does mean Yolha is going to go down here. But it's okay, look at this. Stark going to come in, S2 on the BBK, dealing a bit of damage, right? And so now, I could honestly... Oh, well, his S3 is reset. Let's go for the Setsuka here. Hopefully she doesn't counter. There we go, it's a risky play, but we did it. And let's see what his S3 does here. We have an attack down, unfortunately, so we can't really see his true gauge of damage, but it's alright. Coming with the S3, about 16k with an attack down against BBK. That's not bad at all. Let's go ahead and S1 here. No fear. Okay. So down goes Lady of the Scales. And with Aram, you know what? Let's go ahead and push up the Stark. Let's reset him. It's a pretty close call here with his BBK, but kind of to be expected, honestly. This isn't the most optimal team that you'd bring along, but it is fun enough that, let's see, we can have Stark's 4th S3, by the way. 4th S3. Oh, now that. Oh. Now that is some damage. I know BBK typically has pretty low defense, but even then, that was very satisfying. So moving on here, let's go ahead and try to fight this tankier team that I found on my opponent's side. We have Lady of the Scales with Yolha, a lot of damage sharing going on, some revenge damage potential here, and Empyrean Ilinov, who's not allowing us to penetrate defense, which kind of sucks for start, but we'll talk about what our team comp is going to do here. We also have a Harseti on the other side, so Stark has brought along some new friends, right? Aram is going to be the same as usual. We're bringing her into the Harseti. We got the immunity, all that good stuff at the start of the match, okay? But what we're doing is we're going to bring in our own Empyrean Ilinov into our opponent's Yolha to prevent the Yolha from essentially like one-shotting anybody here on my side. My Empyrean Ilinov is actually, she's on a different ring than normal, so I kind of swapped around some pieces, but this is because Stark is currently borrowing it to see how he does in terms of damage. So yeah, we have some replacement pieces on Ilinov. She's looking pretty decent here though. And we also have our Archdemon. So Archdemon is giving a bunch of health to Stark and the Aram, which is kind of nice, but Archdemon is also really nice here for sealing our opponent. I'm actually running her on Freeren's artifact right now because it just gives us extra souls. I mean, why not? It's a little power-crept Taga Hell's Ancient Book, so let's do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and right? So jumping into this here, the Archdemon's going to allow us to seal the Empyrean Ilanov and then let us deal damage later on. Assuming we survive, there are 2 light units on the other side, so they will be focusing the Archdemon down, but we'll see how it plays out. Right, Harsetti's going to come in with an S3 though. This is not bad because Stark again is going to get that fighting spirit. We're looking pretty decent right now. And I am just going to go for a seal on the Harsetti. This way we can kind of neutralize her passive, and then speed is now part of the equation, right? We can use speed to our advantage, and it will be really, really nice for us to be able to kind of lap around our opponents, because my units are built with a little bit of speed. It's not a base speed Stark or anything like that, right? Okay, so Lady of the Scale is going to S3. The Empyrean Ilanov on the other side, honestly, a little bit annoying. But we're gonna try our best to, oh my god. Okay, we're gonna try our best to hit this Yoha. I don't think our, I don't think our Archdemon is gonna be faring really well here. But let's go for an S3 here. Let's go ahead and injury down this Yoha, just to deal as much damage as possible to her too. There you go, very nice. So Stark can come in. We can soul burn the S3, but I'm gonna choose not to. Let's just go straight for the Harsetti here and see what we can do. Alright, 28 KHP Stark now, because the imprint from the Archdemon, it's going to be very nice. And look at that, a lot of damage onto Yoha, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's go for an S1, see if we can stun. Oh, very nice, we can stun the Harsetti. Usually Harsettis aren't built with any resistance, so that's good. Stark going to come in with an S2 onto the Yoha. She does proc, but it's okay. I'd rather her proc now, right? And that means, okay, so Stark can come in, we can go for another S3. I'm gonna go for just a normal S3 here. Let's hit the Lady of the Scale. She is gonna be really annoying. Again, all of this damage is gonna be absorbed by the Yoha, so we're good. Alright, look at that. A lot of damage share happening. And Empyrean Ilanov gets to come in. Let's just go ahead and deal a little bit more extra damage to Yoha here for the injury. And now, I think what I'll do is I'll end up sealing the Empyrean Ilanov, because we should soon be able to deal a lot of damage, right? Once Yoha goes down. So she's about to lose this immortality here. We procced it. She's going to S3. She won't kill anybody because we have Empyrean Ilanov on our side. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Hardly any damage, right? We can heal that up easily. But now Yoha's going to go down. There's still damage here for this single hit. I think what I'll do is I'll just go for an S1 here. I'm not going to S3, just give her the Yoha first. There's no reason to S3 and then my next damage dealer has 70% of their damage being shared. So we'll do this. And there we go, very nice. We're in a prime position now to go ahead and hit this Ilanov. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and try to weaken her up a little bit. Archdemon, we can seal. Who do we want to seal now? Harsetti? Yeah, you know what, we can probably seal Harsetti. Ooh, I could probably also seal the Lady of the Scales, too. Let's go for the Harsetti instead. Oh, never mind, she resisted. We still get the dual attack, though. It's kind of nice. Okay, let's go for the Empyrean Ilanov. No provoke there, but that's okay. Stark gets to S2 here. We'll get to push up with the combat readiness. Alright, look at that. Beautiful fighting spirit gain. And now he's not sharing any damage anymore. So what we're gonna do is, oh, hang on, I can't get the combat readiness gain. That's right, because Harsetti is there. What we'll do then is, no one else really has her skills right now. I'm just gonna go for an S1 to try to stun. No stun. We got some heals. It's okay. Alright, Empyrean Ilanov is stunned. We have a barrier on the Archdemon. So now, see, this is what I mean by bringing Stark to slower matches is usually pretty beneficial, because all these little tiny hits, look at Stark getting his fighting spirit back up so quickly. We might as well, we have so many souls, I might as well just soul burn this. So let's go for the Lady of the Scales here. If I need to, I can also push up with Aram. I just gotta watch out for Lady of the Scales. Oh my god, wait a minute. That's with... Guys, that is with defense penetration resistance on the other side, by the way. That is a crazy amount of damage with Empyrean Ilanov not sealed on the other side. So, I'm kind of impressed, not gonna lie. Alright, he's gonna deal a bunch of damage in retaliation to me, and unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to do much right now. Let's see if Aram can help us out with another little boost of vigor here. Oh, never mind. We are getting destroyed by debuffs. Okay, so let's come in with an S3. Let's go for... Actually, you know what? No, let's just finish off Lady of the Scales. I don't really want her around anymore. She's really annoying. Okay, I think we're good now. Aram, we can push up here. I won't get the extra bonus, but it would help to get rid of the Harseti, so let's go for this. Not ideal showcase of damage here, but again, just goes to show that the longer the match, the more beneficial Stark can become. He ramps up really quick, as you guys can see, especially with an AoE damage dealing on the other side. Look at that. Again, 15k damage, guys, is not a low amount of damage right there. It is pretty impressive what Stark is doing. Now, we are defense breaking. That's very good. Let's go ahead and seal. This should dual attack with the Stark. Very nice. Okay, so now we're in a prime position, of course, to finish off the Empyrean Ilanov. And let's just go for this S1. Let's do another S1 here. See if we can dual attack with the Stark again. Alright, yeah. So this is really cool. Stark, honestly, one thing that I wish he had was when he procced his S2, he self-cleansed. But I don't know if that's going to be, like, too good. Is that going to be like a power crept Ed? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Oh, what was that, guys? You didn't think I was gonna use Stark with Frieren? Well, you're sorely mistaken. Of course, I'm gonna use both of them together, because why wouldn't you? Why not? Frieren has great synergy with Stark here because her passive allows her to give Stark a bunch of resource increase at the start of the fight. It's gonna be really useful in this one here, not only because Frieren's gonna be an extra DPS on the team, we don't have to necessarily wait for Stark to be recharging his S3 time and time again, but Frieren is actually going to be able to give Stark the 40% resource, especially against this team that only really has single target attacks. So against teams that have single target damage, Stark is going to charge up relatively slowly, in fact really slowly, and you're only going to ever use him after 10 hits from your opponent, right? Which is a lot of turns, especially with Spirit Eye Celine being such a heavy hitter on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to also bring in Dien as a support unit. Human Luna is typically pretty fast. Dien has a full debuff cleanse for the team. She also puts on defense penetration resistance and anti-crit, which are both really strong against Spirit Eye Celine, right? The last unit we're going to bring is Fallen Cecilia. I thought about bringing Briar Witch to counter the Royal's Revive, but because we have Frieren, I think we're going to be okay in terms of damage here. So let's just jump into it, and Fallen Cecilia with all the buffs that she has is probably not going to be dying really easily, right? So we should be able to tank our opponents, but let's see what we can do. Let's let it play out. Because sometimes you have a theory, but it doesn't always work out in the way you intend. So let's go for the S3. Our opponent really doesn't have anything to kind of counter us here in terms of stripping all of our buffs, right? So this is going to be pretty decent. We can go for an S3 as well here. There's no reason not to. Everyone's going to be throwing out their skills against Fallen Cecilia. We might as well mitigate the Dragon Bride Senya damage. So let's do that. And when she goes, she's going to push up the Spirit Eye Celine, who's going to go, and again, that is perfectly fine by me. Starksy, starting with the 40% fighting spirit, he is now going to be gaining a bit more. And every single hit we take is going to be a little bit closer to Stark actually being able to throw everything that he has out there. Now, Frieren, she's able to, increase her own attack here, attacks everybody, dispels all these buffs, which is good because they have immortality on the other side, and I don't want that. She also penetrates defense by 50%, which is fantastic. The S1 is also pretty good, but for right now, let's just go ahead and throw out the S3 here and try and strip everything. Would be very, very nice. There we go, a good chunk of damage. Now, Frieren does get hit by the Spirit Eye Celine, but we mitigate that damage by sacrificing 4 souls. A small price to pay to avoid literally dying, right? And that's a lot of damage that we just dished out there. So I am going to go for an S2. I'm going to replenish the barrier on Fallen Cecilia. I'm going to turn cycle the team, attack buff on Stark, which is also nice. Let's soul burn him, and try to go for this... Try to go for the Dragon Bride Senya, so I want to try to get rid of her first. If I can, it'd be great. Oh, look at that, 14k damage. Stark is a really decent support unit for DPS, or a sub-DPS you could say. And I'm going to go for the Ruel here, I'm going to finish her off. And AoE hit for everybody else. Pretty nice. Look at that damage. It's really good, actually. And with Ruel reviving herself, it's fine. I actually wanted Dragon Bride Senya to get revived here. This makes it a lot easier for me, because then Ruel doesn't put the invincibility on, let's say, Spirit Eye Celine or the New Moon Luna. New Moon Luna is going to go down really quickly. Actually, she's going to go down right now, in fact. There you go, defense break wears off, and now we're just gonna chip away at this Ruel. I don't want to hit this Spirit Eye Celine, otherwise she is going to get a barrier from the Dragon Bride Senya. Oh my god! Okay, well, we might have just lost our Fallen Cecilia here. There we go. Good damage from Stark, but again, Dragon Bride Senya is going to proc here. Not really the greatest thing for us. It's okay, though. We will come in with a Soul Burn on the S3. Let's finish off the Ruel so she can no longer put damage limit buffs on anybody. See how much damage we do here. Oh, very nice. 16k damage, guys. Very consistent damage from Stark here. Not too shabby. Okay, so at this point, I could go after the Celine, but we do have an AoE we're going to attack with anyway. I'm just going to go for, let's go for a little Soul Burn action here. We have the souls to spare, right? So we'll do a lot of damage to this Dragon Bride Senya. Try to finish her off as soon as possible. Look at that, half her health gone as damage already. Let's try to provoke the Spirit Eye Celine. Okay, she's going to counterattack, never mind. So we didn't lose our Fallen Cecilia, that's good. Alright, and we're probably going to lose her here, though. The Dragon Bride Senya is going to smack us with a ton of damage. Alright, but look at this. Stark's Fighting Spirit's building up quickly because of that. Furirin taking the hit here. Kind of dangerous for us. Ooh, the Dust Devil. Thankfully, defensive magic from Furirin acting as a very good deterrent against our opponent. So, let's go for... we could go for an S3, but we can also go for an S2. Ooh, I'd rather, right now, go for the S3, and then go for the S2 on the next turn. So let's go for the S3 here. This will give us enough souls for Stark. Actually, we don't have an S3 right now, do we? No, we don't have an S3. It's okay. We'll go ahead and do this. We'll have Furirin come in with a barrier this time. Generating a ton of souls with DM, by the way. Having a soul generator is really nice for units like Furirin. But let's go ahead and do this. There we go. Spirit Eye Celine gonna get hit down to half health. Very nice. And let's see if we can... Uh-oh, he's gonna revive the entire team, isn't he? Alright, more fun for us, though. It's all good. Dragon Bride Senya, no one can really do anything right now. Dragon Bride Senya... Yep, okay. So, we're just gonna go ahead and smack this Spirit Eye Celine, keep her below half health. And now we just kind of finish off... Yeah, we can kind of finish off our opponents as their immortality wears off. Alright, Furirin, ooh, taking a bit of damage there. I don't like that. Just go for an S1. No reason to S3 there. Everyone attacking the Furirin. Do not like that. And I could come in with an S3. This is going to be Spirit Eye Celine doing a lot of damage to us, though. I don't know if I like it. Let's just go for an S1. No reason for us to go for the S3. Don't be greedy. Right? Play things smart. You have to be a good role model for Stark here. Right, Furirin essentially is tanking for the entire team right now, which is not great. We're using a lot of souls for it, but it's alright. Okay, we'll go for an S2. We'll kind of boost everybody up here a little bit. Very nice. Defensive magic is such a, honestly, almost a busted skill. Alright, let's do, ooh, Stark is, okay. I see. Let's go for an S3 here. Let's just do this. I should probably have S1, actually, now that I think about it. That builds up Fighting Spirit a little bit faster, right? Alright, anyway, it's all good. I will just go for an S1. Alright, Spirit Eye Celine is going to counter. If she doesn't crit us... There we go, so she barely heals, and now we get to finish her off with Furirin. So yeah, there are certain units, like Spirit Eye Celine, that Stark is relatively weak against, but, you know, there's nothing that you can't fix with a little bit of team building, right? So yeah, Furirin works really well with Stark, really fun to use them together, but I'm going to try to avoid using her with him together going forward in the rest of the battles, just because I want to showcase more variety. Okay, so the Stark matches have been going on for a little bit now, and I honestly didn't realize how long each match was taking, but we'll make this the last one here. Decided to go out with a bang. why not have some fun? So Stark is going to be here with a mono fire team. He's going to be pairing up with Setsuka, which is very nice for the evasion that she has. I do need to eventually consider moving her to Repose set. I'm not really sure about that, but that's besides the point right now. We're going off on a tangent. Aram is also going to be here. She's going to be great as a support. I know I said I was going to go for variety, but hey, if you want the variety, go check out the Frieren showcase video. I think that's going to be more up your alley. Stark is a really more of a slower gameplay type of unit, right? But Aram's going to be really good into the Harsetti. Everyone has Harsetti on defense team, so honestly, there's nothing I can really do about that. And then there's Adventurer Roz, right? I'm bringing Adventurer Roz because he has, well, mitigation in the form of Aureus here, soaking up some of the damage for the team, giving some defense for everybody, but also he gives a barrier to Stark in case Stark ever gets targeted or hit too low, right? Everyone here has some sort of a healing skill, besides Stark himself, really. But yeah, the Roz is an S3, the Aram's S1, the Setsuka's S1s. Stark is really good because when his S3 starts ramping up, he's going to be dealing quite a bit, right? And we noticed that this was dealing a ton already, just from the previous matches, even with Empyrean Illinov. So this one without Empyrean Illinov around is hopefully just going to be a nice little breather for us to end things on. So let's go ahead and see what the opponent has in store for us. The Harsetti's going to go, of course, but we are going to be fine. Aram giving 3 turns of immunity is honestly just nutty, right? There you go, get the bigger buff as well, beautiful. And looks like Setsuka didn't dodge and Roz didn't dodge, but the other two did, which is great. No reason for us to do anything here except try to stun. But yeah, decided to go into this more BBK and Harsetti team because look at this, look at all the AoEs that are going to be coming in from my opponent's side. Look at how fast the fighting spirit is building up on my team, it's amazing. So we're going to go for Roz's S3, we really want an S2 here because I want the defense buff, 1, but 2, I also really wanted to heal. Roz was getting a little low. He gets poked by the Mort, but it's okay. Mort can actually never hit anybody on my team because of Setsuka, which is kind of nice. Or, well, I shouldn't say can never, but yeah, there's a really low chance of hitting anyone on our team. Look at that Stark coming in with that S2, beautiful. So now we can come in with our first S3. I am gonna honestly go for the Dragon Bride Senya. We need to get her down as soon as possible, so I'm gonna go for this. And then Setsuka's gonna come in and blind everybody with her S3. That's gonna be very good for us. That way, we're never gonna get hit by my opponent, and that also means that Setsuka gets to counter here, so look at that. Blinds on everyone. Beautiful. Mort's gonna S3, nothing is gonna happen. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Look at that. Okay, he's gonna go for the Aram, unfortunately, but luckily he's missing, right? Luckily he's missing. Except the Dragon Bride Senya, that was kind of bad, but it's okay. We can come in here with an S2. I'm gonna try to go for the Dragon Bride Senya here. Aram might go down, unfortunately, but that is okay. Ooh, look at that. But yeah, we're gonna go down here from the extra attack. I wish Aram could stay alive, but she kind of did her job already. We're kind of at a disadvantage now, but it's okay. Let's see if Stark can mount a little comeback here. So at this point, I'm gonna S3. And let's go into the Mort. He's a little bit annoying. He's never gonna hit anybody, but he is a little annoying. Harsetti is at least giving me a lot of stats of fighting spirit here. Alright, there we go. Oh, almost got rid of the Mort. Okay, let's go for an S1 here. Boom, very nice. Mort's gonna miss, and then that's gonna proc the... Oh, never mind. Sorry, Setsuka can't counter. I completely forgot there was a Mort there. You can tell it's really late at night. So currently, just so you know, for context, it's 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. on Thursday evening. I still have work tomorrow, but hey, for you guys, since I'm not home over the weekend, you're gonna get your Epic 7 content that you deserve, right? And you're also gonna get the Frieren collab content that you deserve. Let's go ahead and proc the BK here. She's also provoked now. Ooh, actually, that's a little scary. Let's go for the hit onto Harsetti. Yeah, there we go. Nice. What's gonna come in? It's all good. Well, that's a lot of damage on Stark, but there we go. The Roz barrier comes in, and then Stark gets a little counterattack. Beautiful. We have another S3. Let's go ahead and smack down the... Honestly? Do we even hit the Harsetti here? No, she's gonna hit the Roz, right? I'm gonna go ahead and smack down the, let's smack down the Mort. Let's go a little bit more risky here, yeah? So Stark's gonna come in and finish off the Mort, beautiful stuff. Harsetti's gonna come in, extra attack comes in, and look how fast, again, look how fast Stark builds up this fighting spirit. I think, honestly, into Harsetti, he's not a terrible option to go for. But we gotta finish off this BBK now before she finishes us off. There we go. And can Stark do it? Can Stark do it? Let's see. He's not gonna be able to get the S2 to reset himself here, but at the very least, we can go for this. And there you guys have it. So Stark, guys, I think he's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to try to use him in RTA. I think it's gonna be very difficult. One, because of his defense penetration being so integral to his damage. Empyrean Ilanov runs around, and that new frenzy mechanic is also running around too. So I'm not really too sure how he's gonna fare, but I think his potential is there, and he could potentially be really nice in slower bruisery team comps. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of Stark in the comments section down below. And until next time, take care.